probably all that cold air, nothing, grows. Plants don't grow in the winter, so we don't. Well, some of us grow, but you just don't grow, just saying. It is what it is. I grew up in Niagara Falls, New York. Yeah, I live in Buffalo, so back and forth to Canada, but I travel a lot. I have clients all over the world, so people say, you can do this by phone? I'm like, yep, you sure can. I do radio. That's always fun when you get people calling in, because it's like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get. And we all like chocolate, yeah. And some caramel. I don't like salted caramel chocolates. I don't get that connection. Do you like it? I think you either really like it or you don't. I just haven't. Maybe I got to do the dark chocolate with salted caramel dark chocolate or something. Yeah, because I'm not a big milk chocolate eater, but I do like dark chocolate. Anything sweet, just about any. We're all girls. We love our sweets, don't we? We have to have them. Oh, totally. Yum. I think it can help. I think diet does play a role, and that's a good question. We'll get to some questions to everybody, but we were just talking about certain foods like tamarind, opening up your third eye, and I do think a diet makes a big difference. If you eat a lot of heavy foods, things like that, things that don't really relate well to when you're into this realm, what you should do, the do's and the don'ts. So it can make a big difference. Well, first of all, I don't like to cook. I'm pretty lazy. I'll eat this sounds pathetic. I'll open up a can of baked beans, like Mrs. Brown's vegetarian beans. I'll have that for breakfast. I'll eat a banana. I'm not a real, I love olives. I love charcuterie boards, with cheese and olives. I kind of like to pick at things. I'm not a big fan of I like cake too. I like pudding. Those are the things I really love to eat. They're sweet. They're good for your serotonin levels, so. But I find when I eat lighter foods, more vegan, which I'm pretty much a vegan, you just feel better. Certain foods I refrain from just because they don't, work with my body, like soy, so if you get migraines, I'm a migraine or soy. By the way, it's very common for people that tend to have heightened sensitivities, and as you expand your sensitivities, you'll find you may be more prone to migraines or headaches or, I did a show the other day and I had somebody in the audience, they said, you have a problem on your left shoulder, and she was way up I do an audience thing at my station, and anyway, she had a left shoulder and I could feel it. Yes, darling. Hi. No, but that is not me.
Yes.
And I don't think you have. I don't know if they gave you any of me. Huh. Sounds like Reese's Pieces. I might get into trouble. Hi, darling. You could just start wrapping me maybe 15 minutes. Yeah, you could just go like this, because sometimes I lose track, but you go like this and I'll know I sat down 15 minutes, and then you can just say cut it at the end. So, because I know we want to get the next people in. Oh my God, my husband! Oh my God!
Myself for you. It's from Buffalo?
Yeah, we had that.
I know, awful. It's okay. You can get your stuff all over me.
I wrote,
I'm not
I
worried.
wrote this.
That's 2 days from now.
I
Got all
wrote
the time in the
this
world to
book.
make that happen. It's not my
It's
cup.
been selling. I'll give you a copy. Yes.
It's on my Instagram. I got
Yes, I
really
do. Get me
You know,
on.
I've seen YouTube.
I know. We're
Testicles.
so testicles.
For Discovery, they sell the show I did.
Why?
Because I had a lot of information, with government, so
I want to talk to you about that
Let's
because I've
talk
been
about
doing
that.
a live. Are you here all weekend?
I'm just here till Sunday. I was going to try to call you tonight.
Well, let's do
I got
something
it
tonight.
today. And I want you to meet Claire Bear.
Who's Claire Bear?
She's sitting down there. She looks innocent, but she's not. Hey, Clara. My husband that I was telling you about?
Yeah, right here. I've been saving myself for her. I know, we're a team.
Oh my God.
We got to start becoming a
couple.
Well,
Better
I
late
was
than never.
waiting for you. I thought you were the psychic one.
The psycho about my coffee.
You're a psycho without your coffee and a psychic with your coffee.
Yes. Oh my
Well, I was just
God.
going to introduce you about all the amazing
Contact.
making contact. Yes, Alan Seinfeld.
We need to talk about that here.
We could.
Let's do.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's do it. Are you going to be here for the whole thing? or-
Well, not the whole thing, but we could talk a little bit
Let
in
me
the
talk about
beginning.
it, yeah, because I think this is a really important thing, because we're getting more of it.
And the government's coming out with the information. That's what makes it such a popular book. People want to know what's going on. It's called the New Reality of Extraterrestrial Existence. So,
Where did my English?
well, it's not, the psychic is one low, it's astral. This is much more out there than astral, in a way, in my opinion.
Asteroids, the whole thing, remember?
Uranus, Uranus.
But it's true, though.
Well, it is true. How come you didn't get married 3 or 4 years ago?
You know, the bloody COVID came in. We'll just talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I was in Barfool. You've been in Barfool. You did your undergraduate, didn't you?
Horrible. Worst
Listen,
first
for Christmas,
4 years.
We had the snow here.
That's horrible.
I was out going like penguin. There's no light on the village of Frigga-Moroni. I used to
I
figure skate.
know.
I'm used to some of it.
Well, you're looking very good.
But
You are. I think you're looking even better than.
you just need more. You must get COVID eyes.
No! I have good eyes.
Always have the
So we get married right here in front of your
We could. This could be our
wedding reception. Who has a
Our
flower?
witnesses.
Oh, you have a flower girl.
Right,
That's
and are you a
good.
minister? Aren't you a minister too?
I could be. No, I'm not. I'm not.
Non-denominational one?
I could be whatever you want me to
Oh, in that case.
be. I'm yours.
Rub me with a good time.
You want a good time? Okay,
They're
let's
waiting
get
for my
out of
lavalier.
here.
Well, they're waiting for the lavalier.
Oh, the
Yeah,
lavalier.
because I talk with my hands.
Okay, so you need a
know?
lavalier. Is everyone having a good time here? Yes.
Oh, we can still talk ahead of time.
You are in for a real treat.
That's because my husband's here.
My future ex-wife is right here. No, she's lovely, really. And she's really an incredible psychic. I mean, she doesn't even know how she does this. She's so incredible. It just tapped in. She just opens up and boom, it comes through. Isn't that true?
Yeah, it's true.
It's true. And when did you first notice this happening to you?
That's a good question. Good idea. So I was always like this. I thought it was always normal. My mom didn't help. She'd say, oh, I saw dead Uncle Frank, or, there's going to be a plane crash tomorrow, and that would all happen. We would go shopping at the grocery store, and I'd see somebody following, like a dead husband following a wife. So I thought it was normal. So, and my brother, who's 11 months younger, had the same thing. We just thought it was normal. People would visit, doors would open up, and whatever crazy things in the house. And there's other people in my family, but it was when I was 7 that I had this vision that my father was going to pass away. He was in great shape. He's a lovely Canadian, super nice guy, engineer, men's, a beautiful, smart, totally different than my mom's side. And about 3 weeks later, he dropped dead unexpectedly of a stroke.
Really? And you knew it?
Yeah, my brother had the same vision. And what was strange is we didn't go to service. We were too young, but my mom said, well, I buried him in a blue casket to match his blue eyes. My father was a Viking, Canadian. But I'll tell you, my grandmother, who my mom's mom was very, very psychic, Eugenie Hyman, and she was like this little puny thing, and at that time she was in town, and she said it was just God's way of preparing you. So it was at that point that I realized. But
No, she's really talented that way, but she's also, I would say, you're opening up to this level where This is so there's the psychic level, you know, the astral world, those dead people hang out, and they're great, and they're great people, but what's beyond that, right? That's
Right.
what I want to talk about.
You know, that's really funny because I was just telling Alan that, I don't know, probably 10, 12 years ago, I was down doing a show for Discovery Channel down in Roswell, and I did have experience with an ET, and they come in a couple of different ways. They can come in the physical dimension, but they can also come spiritual, like humans do, right? There's all different types of life forms. So it's so funny that you're here because they really do exist. My show was shelved because yours truly was giving away a lot of information because I'm very good with names, numbers, dates, and times, and we had Men in Black following us. There was a bunch of us on the crew, so that was kind of fun.
But
What a way to get a
now-
date.
But now it's opening up. The government's coming forward. There's
Yep.
more sightings worldwide. People are having personal visitation.
Oh.
So this is your time.
Oh, and I know a couple really key people that have been on national TV that I need to connect you with.
Well, also tell us a little secret about what these ETs want here.
They don't want me for a date, only
Yes, they
you.
do. Oh, I got you. No, why do you think it's happening more and more now? Why this?
Well, I think because there's so much unrest. So there are some out there that see us as some weaknesses, right? And then you see others that see that there's an opportunity to come in and hopefully correct. And then you just have others that are here to observe and to take, yep.
And why are they making these crop circles?
Oh, that's a good question. Why are they making the crop circles in England? You know these shapes.
Yep.
Do you know why they're doing that?
Well, it's all communication. And now that we can see aerial, and if you know what to look for, kind of like in the psychic realm, if you know what to look for, you can make the connections. So,
Right.
yeah.
But the other thing is, so you know, astral, where those dead people go, one level of consciousness.
Right.
There's some beings, ETs, the Greys, abducting people. That's another level. But then there's the But then there's the higher level
Yep.
of what some people call the tall whites or the Nordics. So you look a little Nordic.
So do you.
Right. So why are they here? We're Nordic. Fine,
We
good to
are.
find. But no, but I think they're here not just to raise us up, but they're here for a message. They're here for something. Do you get like a download about that?
Well, yeah, several different ways. I mean, one of the things, they don't want us to punish the earth anymore. They don't want to have any like nuclear, things along that line. Atlantis is a classic example you hear a lot of. There was a lot of alien activity when Atlantis was around. So,
But is it true that when you set off a nuclear weapon, not like any of us are going to do it, but does that rip a hole through time, space, and affect the other dimensions?
yes. Oh, there's always a connection. There's always a domino effect. Everything is connected. Like even the earth, and this translates to, the psychic, but think of it as, the World Wide Web. Everything is connected. We're connected. Your enemies, unfortunately, are connected to you. Good,
So
bad, or
do you
indifferent.
see, will they show up and when do you think that will happen? What's the time frame? Just 2 minutes, psychic.
Well, I'll tell you, that's hard to say because they have been doing it. It's to the extent that we're aware of it. Where the government makes it more of a higher, realm. So in about 10 years, you'll start hearing more and more. But there's also a lot of alien walk-ins and all sorts of, activity that's going on, and a lot of manipulation too. And you'll start to see more of it.
Well, are you getting more download because you're connected? I mean, you didn't come in as a normal person. So where's your alien origins?
Flattery will get you nowhere, honey.
But what's your connection? Do you
Yeah.
get these? Yeah, talk about what's really coming through.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've had, give us the juice. Look, give us the juice.
No, give us the
Yeah.
real. Go ahead.
Yeah, there is a concern though with aliens, and I've had connections with them spiritually as well as psychically. I've had them in my dreams. That happens, and I'll tell you something about dreams in a second that'll relate. But they have come to say that they're very concerned about the direction that we're going. We need to start unifying. We need to start making better choices because we will affect our world, their physical plane.
One more question. So, how can we all raise our vibration in order to get to the realm where these beings become our reality?
You can see now that energies are starting to shift, so even our regular bodies are starting to make changes, magnetic frequencies and things. So at some level, the universe is doing it for us, but on our level, what we need to do is meditate. Meditation is the number one key, and you don't have to do a power meditation. Sit for 5 minutes, sit for 10 minutes. Put yourself in just a quiet, place. Your mind is going to continue to go. Mine goes nonstop. It's really silly, stupid stuff. Oh my God, you're meditating, pick a mantra, peace, peace, and then you might say, oh, I got to go vacuum. Bring it back, peace, peace. I got to go clean the car out, peace, peace. Or like me, I got to go shovel the snow, peace, peace, right? So you just bring it right back to that. Just do it for 10 minutes. And you're not going to necessarily get anything magnificent. It's probably, okay, so what? I did this meditation. But then you want to look for signs. Like,
Right.
you'll start to see, like with ETs and aliens, you might turn on the TV and you catch a show like Ancient Aliens, which I watch, and I know some of the people on there, or you might be thinking of somebody you haven't spoken to, the phone rings, or you start getting things like that. But meditation is the number one key.
Because now it's time to make contact, making contact.
Yeah.
Because that's our
It's a
next
good book.
level of evolution, making contact. I mean, when we complete this human realm, when we finally bring peace to the planet, that will ever happen, then we meet the other ones that are waiting for us to grow up.
Well, the White House is very embedded with aliens. So are all the heads of all the leaders of the governments. They have a whole different type of
Do they
greater.
know it? Or
Oh,
they,
yeah,
they
they've-
do. Like,
they've-
can you give us a name of some alien government? Or most of them?
The
No.
United States.
Or, no.
But they all, our government, just about every government that's out there. So,
So they're there to help us, you're saying, or not help us?
well, it depends on which ones. There's browns, there's grays, so you
Oh.
get a perplexed. So and then a lot of aliens have also helped to facilitate greater advances, technologies, and things like that. So, I mean, I've seen browns, I've seen the grays. I mean, I've literally seen
What
them.
do browns look like? I mean, what are they? I know
Taller,
the-
just
taller.
their skin tone's
Like
different.
Big
brownie.
eyes still.
Yep, skinny.
Uh-huh.
So,
Well, we could talk on and on about this, but
Yes.
what are you going to do today?
today we're gonna have fun.
You're going to do some readings? and-
Yes, we're going to give some hot tips on how you can open up your own psychic, some naughties, things you don't want to get caught up in. There's a lot of the naughty list, right?
Are you being naughty? You're always so naughty.
Anyways, we're going to take some questions. We're also going to, put yourselves to work for a minute, let you get it, your own feel, walking a little bit of a meditation. You could take this meditation. So we'll take a look at that, and then I'll do a couple quick readings too. I'm already getting some readings. That always
All right.
happens. Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Karyn Reece.
And if the lavalier comes
give you that
in,
book.
can you see if they're going to give me I love you. Thanks. Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
I'll text you.
The amazing,
Okay,
I got
honey.
the wedding.
the amazing.
The amazing.
I love you. Are you all excited? I'm going to rock and roll going. Oh, cool. Love on the purple stuff? Is that better for you? Is that better? Okay.
Continuously.
Can you hear me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, okie dokie, Pinocchio. I'd use a mic, and I know I'll be talking with my hands.
You get the strapping on the
Oh, let's see, we'll go like this. How's that? Can you hear that?
Keep going.
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Is there a battery pack that needs to be? Okay. Because batteries go off. Oh, going through puberty. Can you hear me? No.
Speak right up to it. Right up to it.
Do you want to just use the
Don't give up, it's
microphone?
the power shut down.
I'll just follow you around with the microphone. No, just take another thing and talk. Okay, the amazing Karyn Reece. Go ahead, just say hello. Hello?
I think the power shut off.
Yeah.
Altogether.
Oh.
Oh, my goodness.
There, did that go back on?
Well, hey, in the meantime.
Try that.
Okay.
Hello.
Maybe it's your energy.
You know what though? Here's something. When you start raising your vibration, this happens a lot. I'll drive by a streetlight, pop. I'll go to use my ATM. You know, you go to the machine, pop. My vacuum. So has anybody had that experience? Yeah. That's called being a slider. And the more you meditate, the more you start paying attention to your psychic, you'll start to know your magnetic field.
Now it came back on. Talk through the mic.
Hello, hello. All right. I guess we'll have to do the mic.
Well, we know, maybe the lab mic does work.
Oh, hello, hello.
No, nope.
Hello, hello.
Just use the mic. I don't want
It wasn't even turned on yet.
Oh,
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hello, hello.
one more.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah.
Hello, hello, hello.
Bring it closer.
Hello, hello.
A little more volume.
Hello,
There we go.
hello.
No.
I'll just stick with this. How's that? Okay. We'll make it easy. We try. It's all good. Alrighty. So we're gonna have a lot of fun. So, how many people feel that they're psychic? Come on, you all are here. How many people have had intuitive? You are too. How many people feel that they've had? Yes, you are. How many people? Yeah, you are. I can see it in your aura. You can run, but you can't hide, girlfriend. I'm just saying. How many people have had intuition? You get that gut feeling, right? How many people have had like dreams and, you know, maybe you see a dead person that you're connected to, or maybe you get like a feeling in a dream or something coming up, or how many deja vuers? Yep. So, I mean, that's a sign that we're all psychic. You know, we have different levels, but there's different ways that you can learn to expand it. And there's certain ways you want to do it. There's certain ways you don't want to do it. So those are some things that we're going to talk about in a second. But one of the things I want to point out, like in this day and age, one of the things we want to be really careful, you always want to keep your emotional state high. How many times have you maybe walked into a grocery store, you know, you're happy you walk in or whatever, you're standing next to somebody, you walk out and all of a sudden you feel kind of, you know, crotchety and grumpy. Has anybody ever had that? How about in the back? Yes. Or you've run across somebody you haven't seen in a while and suddenly, you know, you're talking to them and it's nice casual conversation. It's polite, it's nice, but you walk away and you're like, something's off, like I feel grumpy. How many times have you had that? Yeah. So those are the things we have to be careful of. So before you start getting into expanding your psychic abilities, which I'll get into a couple tips in a minute on that, you want to be aware of those types of situations. And you don't want to entertain that, you know. So if you go somewhere, you meet up with somebody and for whatever reason, you know, you walk away, maybe it's a past life thing, right? You're picking up their gunk. Maybe they're having a bad day, you're picking up their gunk. Maybe they're just a lower thinking personality. You don't want to bring that because thoughts are things. You know, mind your thoughts or your thoughts are going to mind your mind, right? So we want to be very careful. So when you start to open up into this realm, you always want to keep yourself in a more higher vibration, you know, mode, a happier mode, a more positive mode. You know, what we fixate on is what we get. Instead of saying, you know, if this is going to happen, you know, you're looking at something, to, you know, an idea in the future, you know, oh, this is going to go wrong. Why not say, no, maybe this will go right? I mean, how many times have we done that too, right? You know, we get all worried, we let our fears get the best of us, and we say, oh my God, what if this happens? And it's something negative. So you want to turn it around to, instead of, what if this happens negatively, to something more positive. Does that make sense? Yeah, because thoughts really are the things. I mean, we're our own co-creators. And the thing is, when you're dealing with the vibrational energies, there's a ton of frequencies that are around us all the time. You want to make sure you're always going for the high ones. And the way to do that is always try to be around good, positive people. We all are going to have a bad day. We're all going to be crybabies. We're all going to get, you know, into that moment, road rage, whatever. But you got to just let it go and find another you know, outlet. A lot of times what I do, if I get really aggravated, and I'm more of a type A personality, typically I'll just have to, you know, if somebody cuts me off in traffic, you know, in the past I'd be like, oh, aggravated. But now I'm like, is it that big of a deal? Have at it, you know? I mean, say thank you at least. Okay, they don't in New York, but just, you know, saying, you know, so that's something to keep, you know, mindful of. I'm getting messages, by the way. These people are killing me. You've got psychic messages today, and you're going to have dead people messages, but they're going to be in down the road. They keep trying to get my attention. It's because you're all fun people and you're all hot. All right, so now, woohoo, can we all dance a little bit? It's getting a little hot in here. Are we all excited? We gotta be. All right, so there's a lot of kooky stuff in this industry. So I'm gonna dispel a couple of things also. And, you know, because there's a lot, you know, everybody has psychic abilities, just like everybody can draw a stick figure, but you gotta work at it if you really want to be a Da Vinci, right? So, you know, there's some things out there like I've had, and this is an example. a couple years ago, I do a big show at back home, a big TV show, and we had probably 100 people. And I started to read this one woman, and I said, "Oh, there's a Henry here." And this woman said, "Oh, his daughter was supposed to be here today." I go, "Yeah." I go, "He said he just died." She goes, 4 hours ago. Okay, this is funny. So this dispels the myth that if you die, you can't come back right away. My family and friends, trust me, when they die, they're in my dreams and they're at the side of my bed. I just died. Happened to me a couple years ago. 5 o'clock in the morning, my friend Charlie comes up. He's waking me up. He's 50. He says, "Carrie, you better," or 53. He says, "Carrie, you better call Annie." I go, "Charlie, it's 5 in the morning. What are you doing here?" "Oh, wait, no, you got to be Gene, his brother." I'm like half asleep. I wake up. I start getting ready, and I get a text message. Charlie had died the night before unexpectedly of a heart attack. So my point is, whenever you hear a psychic say that, I got to be honest with you, that's blubberish. It's nonsense. So keep that in mind. So if there's somebody in your world that passes away and you want to connect with them, you could put the intention out, or if you know that they're going to go, you could just put it out to God. When it comes to their time, please bring them, back to me, and you'll get them in your dreams and what have you. That's the other thing. How many people have had dreams of deceased loved ones? That's in your dream state. I'm going to tell you a tip on this in a second. That is one of the most effective ways you can ascertain information, either from your deceased loved one. You hook up with, Aunt Gertrude, or maybe you want to, take a look at something in your future. What you can do before you go to bed, and you're going to want to get a notebook, because dreams are the easiest states to go into. You're not going to always remember your dreams, which truly are out-of-body experiences. So having a notebook is going to be very important as you develop your psychic. But you can ask a question. "Geez, Aunt Gertrude, should I buy the red car or the blue car?" In the morning, you may not remember seeing Aunt Gertrude, but you'll have an idea. You might turn on the TV and see a blue car. That's the way you got to look at it. It's connecting the dots, which I'll get into that in a minute. The other thing is, when you're working with your dreams, which is a great way, and this is one of the hot tips that I'm going to recommend to develop and expand your psychic, as you fall asleep, you can say, "I will remember seeing you," whoever you want to see, Gertrude, or maybe your hamster, or whoever is important to you, right? "I will remember seeing you." Keep repeating that. If you have a picture of somebody like your dad, look at your dad, just say, "I will remember seeing you," because now you're putting that thoughts are thing intention out. So you're going to make your subconscious mind, make that connection.
What if the dream doesn't make any sense whatsoever?
That's a good question. If you have a dream that doesn't make sense, what you want to do is write it down, and then the next night, go back into your dream state. So if you ask for something, just put it out there. A lot of times you're going to be building layers. You'll get things in symbols. Sometimes it's not going to be as clear as it is in this realm. A lot of times our loved ones, you see that they don't talk because it's more telepathic. So, just writing it down. And you can ask for clarification as you fall asleep. Please clarify me on what this dream meant last night, or what this message was. You can ask. It's being more proactive. I think all too often people wait for information to come. We're waiting for that moment, but sometimes you got to be proactive and say, "Hey, I want an answer. I want it now." So you can put that out there. You can be bossy. I'm bossy with my guides. Yeah, they don't always like it, but I think it's funny. We all have guides, by the way. Yeah, but what the heck? I mean, that's what they're there. They're there to work, right? So, but dreams are something, so that's one of the biggest hot tips. You want to work with your dreams. You want to get a notebook. I would date it. I would write down what you get, what you remember. Part of the reason you don't remember is because your guides and God and whoever, they want you to more or less focus on this plane. When you're out of body, it's the greatest thing. I've traveled out of body all my time. I've done it since I was a kid. I had a near death, which is just a little bit more of an they sent me back, but that's another story. But I mean, we go out of body, we travel, we have fun. We don't want to return. You don't feel, the aches and pains, right? You feel fantastic. You look younger. How many times have you seen your loved ones in your dreams that look younger? Have you noticed that? Because you usually are in your healthiest state. When I've gone out of body, I've stood next to my body. And it's kind of funny because I'm like, oh, that's really me. It's the weirdest thing. You're still connected, but it's the weirdest thing. It's like your body's like a pair of clothes. So the other key thing that I'm going to tell you, another really hot way of looking, a hot tip that people don't really tell you much to do, is you want to start looking for coincidences. They can be random. Get a notebook. So you might be thinking, you might hear the song, Angel in Red Shoes by Elvis Costello. You hear it on the radio. Then suddenly, you turn on TV and you see Victoria's Angels are having a sale. You're like, well, this is random. Suddenly, you bump into a friend and she goes, oh, this is my new boyfriend, Angel. And you'll know immediately, you'll get a feeling, or it'll just make sense. Oh, that's who I was supposed to meet. Maybe I'm supposed to, give this woman guidance on Angel being a good person or a bad person. So there's a connection. By the way, it's great if you go to Las Vegas. I've tried it. Does anybody want to know? And it works. Yes.
I wake up with lyrics for a song, days in a row.
Yes.
I write them down, and 2 weeks later, I find that it's a sentence.
Isn't that amazing? Now, that's exactly what we were talking about. It's like building the puzzle, layering the cake, because you're not always going to get everything released all at once. And sometimes it's like timing, too, a little bit down, a little bit, like they'll try to prepare you, depending on what's going on. Because you're going to get in your dreams, things about the future, things about the past, something going on now, all sorts of things, meeting up with your loved ones. So there's a variety of different, things. And then synchronistic, when you start getting those types of things, those are things that people tend to overlook a lot. The other thing that I would recommend, you don't need cards or anything, but what you can do is take a bunch of pictures. This is a really good workout activity. Cut up maybe 20 different pictures out of a magazine or something, or print them off and fold them up and put them into an envelope. Put the envelope in a little basket, let it sit for a few days, shake the envelope up. And then I want you to quiet your mind. And the best way to quiet is just to take a deep breath in, relax. Deep breath in, relax. And we'll go through that in a minute. Deep breath in and just relax. And then quiet your mind, just 4 or 5 minutes. You don't have to get anything excessive or intense. It's where you make your biggest mistake that people don't talk about. You're trying too hard. Don't. If your mind races, that's fine. Just bring it back to your mantra. Then I want you to grab an envelope. On the outside of the envelope, I want you to write whatever comes to mind. Maybe you're hearing a Christmas song. Maybe you're seeing a triangle. Maybe you're smelling pine. And you want to write down what you get and how you get it. Are you smelling it? Are you seeing it? Are you hearing it? Are you feeling it, right? Because we get it in all different ways. Some people get it stronger, like I see and hear. I see dead people and I see like little TV screens, right? And I hear. Some people are very good about intuition. They get that gut feeling. That's what they call intuition, but it's all psychic. Or, you might smell something. A lot of times people smell their deceased loved ones, like perfume or something. Write it down. Open up the envelope and see how that connects. You might say, it's a tree. It's a Christmas tree. And here, ahead of time, you'd already gotten a triangle, which is the shape of a tree, typically. It's a symbol. Or, you started hearing, Christmas music. So I would write that down. And as you build that up over time, you'll start to see how things change. The other tip I'm going to tell you, and people don't realize this, everything has a symbolic meaning. We all have our own dictionary. So you're going to want to start to explore. So as you do more with your psychic, like if I see a horse, I might think of the horse races that I'm about to bet on. You might think of it as freedom. So you want to go with the way you relate to symbols. You can get a dream dictionary, and that's a good basis, but then you got to ask yourself, does it really make sense? Does it feel right? Do I relate to that definition, or is it something else? So you want to be open and fluid when you're working with this energy. Does that make sense? Are you falling asleep yet? You want winning lottery numbers? Gotcha. Anyways, questions so far? Yes, darling. That's a good question. It depends. It takes a lot of energy for people on the other side to come through. Sometimes I see them as clear as you and me. Sometimes they're very blurry. Sometimes they're younger than the age that they have crossed over, with. So like when I see my dad, it's really weird because he had died when he was very young. So I still see him young, but I guess maybe now I'm thinking plastic surgery on the other side is not a problem, so maybe we're becoming desensitized. So I see him at the age that he passed, which was young. So that's how I see people, so I think most people are more comfortable nowadays, with seeing, the other spirits or whatever. A lot of times I get doors and all sorts of crazy stuff in my world, but it really depends on how much energy that they can connect with, because they're in a whole different frequency, so we're trying to make that connection. I'll take the gentleman way in the back and then the lady with the orange on. Yep.
How do we put your work in proper context so that we don't use it as a spiritual bypass to avoid dealing with our personal issues that we need to deal with in our real life now, as opposed to projecting it on unfinished business with the dead?
It's an interesting question. I guess for me, when I'm sitting down with people, they're there for a reason, but then you need to realize you still need to anchor yourself. And a lot of times, though, to that I'll say, that's a really good question. When people come in from the other side, they're here because they want to deliver a message to anchor you in whatever you need to hear. So I think even doing that, you get something out of it. Now, I will say to that, like me personally, I don't think it's very ethical when you have a client coming back all the time. Like I have like a 6-month rule. So I tell people, unless there's something pressing or something else you want to know, I just don't think it's ethical. It's a waste of your money, and I don't feel comfortable with it. Where there are people out there that'll be like, oh yeah, come back next week, or whatever. But you always want to take a look, have a balanced life is what you essentially have to be. And you're your own boss. We all know, again, managing your mind. That goes back to thoughts are things, managing your mind. So being balanced and center, not using a psychic medium as a crutch. You've got to move forward. We're all here to learn, right? And we learn in all different ways. We get challenges. That's the whole point of coming to Earth, by the way. It's to manage our emotional state. That's the hardest thing to do because that's what propels us one way or the other. And it's learning that fine balance. Good question. That's one of the best questions I've heard. You get an A. Yes, we love it. All right. Yes.
How does it work, let's say, a soul dies and they're gone for years, like I think reincarnation is a thing.
Oh, yes.
Let's say that you continue to feel or see their presence, getting communications with them from the other side. How does that work out? Like they've already reincarnated into another being?
Oh, that is a great question. Do you know how many times I hear that? And I'll tell you why. Because, I'll tell you an example. This is sad. I hear this a lot. This woman came to me one time, and I said, oh, your son's here. And blah, blah, Paul's his favorite uncle, and he passed in September, whatever. She burst out crying. She goes, I can't believe you said that. I go, well, why? She goes, I was with a psychic medium, I don't know, some time back, or a psychic, however you want to call it. And she said my son had already reincarnated. Here's the thing, most people are not going to reincarnate for at least like 30 to 70 years. It's been my experience. That's why when you get over there, you're going to see, your aunt, your great-grandmother, all of the above. So that's a lot of fiction when people say that. It's also because chances are you probably aren't with somebody that's a medium. All mediums are psychics, right? Psychics see past, present, and future, but not all psychics are mediums, and mediums communicate to the other side. So I see dead people, I see past and present and future. So a lot of times when you hear that, it's just because chances are they probably aren't a medium. So there's a lot of weird stuff in it. It's an unregulated industry,
But there's also different types of mediums, right?
No,
Well, I know that James Van Prague,
he's a friend of mine, yep.
he says that he can only speak to spirits who've already crossed into light, whereas Marianne Winkowski, who's the ghost
Another one,
whisperer,
yep, know her.
she says she can only speak to ghosts or earthbound, but she can't speak to the others.
Well, in that context, I thought you meant something else. I see all different, yeah.
All of
Yeah, it's a party. Yeah, it's
but
like,
there's different types of mediums.
yeah, from that perspective, when you define it like that, I thought you meant something else. But yeah, some people have, just like, you have pet psychics too. I mean, I get lots of pets in my, readings. I'm a big pet lover. In fact, I want to see my animals before I see my family and friends on the other side. My family and friends put fun and dysfunctional, so I'm just saying, And I'll tell you, you want to hear another weirdo thing about me? I'll get you in a second. Most psychics, I've never known another psychic, and I know a ton of, people in this business. I get people's family members in my dreams the night before I read them. All the friggin' time. Actually, it's insane. Or they'll come by my bed, or I'll be driving. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's Dorothy. Okay, Dorothy. So it's crazy. But in my dreams, most psychics will never, have that. I've never known another one, but usually it's my family. Yeah. Yeah, it's a rarity, but I'm like, oh, geez, your brother Tom was in my dreams last night. He was looking pretty hot, I'll say, but, it's crazy. Yes. For them to communicate with their loved ones? So yes. Oh. Just ask who they are. That's what I would say. Yeah, sometimes, and that's because it's probably taken a lot of energy for that person to come through. But you can just say, who are you? What is your relationship? Telepathically. That's how it works, right? When you're talking. So when I'm reading somebody, I'm like, do, 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 do. So you can just simply say, who are you? What is your relation? Brother, father, sister, mother. And usually you'll get a feeling or you'll be given a connection, in terms of something maybe symbolic. But that's what I would do. And sometimes maybe you're just supposed to give them, that connection and they'll figure it out. And if they can't, then sometimes they may be a messenger too. That happens a lot of times. So you could tell somebody something, but it relates to like their best friend. That happens. I call those, when they piggyback on, readings. That happens too. That happened this week. Yes, darling, in the back, and then we'll go here. I do. Yep, suicide, and that's what's so sad. We really need to raise our energies up, right? We can always change. There's a new minute. Every couple of seconds, we're into a new minute. We can change our thoughts. Hard to do at times. However, my experience with suicides, and I get a lot of them, and now we've had tons of them. Most of the people, in fact, almost every person I've met, will come in and they'll tell me what a dumb thing that they did. They apologize profusely. A lot of times they feel really bad because when you're out of your body, you can feel how others feel. You have that ability. You're like, oh my God, I did this to my mother, right? And oftentimes when you commit suicide, obviously, the good Lord loves all of us, right? So fortunately, unconditional love, you'll go to like a school, like a midway. So you're like in school sort of resolving these issues. You work on it on the other side. So you kind of come to grips, to realize, what you've done, how you've done it. It's tough, but I do get a lot of suicides. And it's really not the smart thing because, look, you stopped your contract, right? Because your contract, by the way, is your astrology chart. So you stopped that. And you've got to, at some point, when you come back into life, reincarnation again, you're going to have to finish off where you left off. You're going to have to go through that whole series because life is a game, right? This is a challenge. We're all here because we want to learn. We want to be nice. We don't want to let small stuff bother us. We want to try to like be the best we can be, take challenges, have some chutzpah, right? But when we do that, it's not a really good thing to do. And the sad part of it is, sometimes I've had families where, maybe a father committed suicide and then you have a kid and, the kid starts to think like that and you have to correct him. Because he might think I'm going to go see my dad, and I'm like, well, you might not go see your dad. You might be in a different classroom, So, but, people work with it. I mean, we all work on our things when we're out of body. I think we had one over here. Yes, and that'll get back to you. Yep.
It's just real, I'm sure you'll answer this very quickly. Do you have advice for someone who, so I can feel their energy really well, and I can see them, but when it's like long sentences, it's really slow for me. Do you have advice for how to improve that?
That's just a time factor. It's just working with the energy and being patient. And sometimes you can fill in the blanks because a lot of times, like somebody will come in because it takes a lot of energy, and they might say Lee, and I'm like, oh, I got a Lee here or Lisa. Oh, that's my Aunt Lisa, yeah. And she said da da da. So, because again, they're trying to get that energy, and they're not used to really using their mouth on the other side. And because you've got that murky energy, it's kind of like they're high, and it's like murky, murky, murky down to our planes. Just take the time, Yeah, your aura looks fabulous. You work it. Yes, and I got to talk to you about an Audrey or an Aubrey, by the way. So, yeah. Anyways, the girl in the back, and then we'll go to this. You next. Okay. Yep.
So I had a friend who recently died by suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, as I reflect, I was getting a lot of messages on the lead up, like different things, like seeing whiskey bottles that he liked, seeing like a video where I talked about him with this other, sort of transformational coach, and it was just like, oh, I should speak to Pat. But then I don't know, and then this happened, and I just can't help but think like, oh my God, why didn't I reach out?
You got to stop at no. We're all responsible for our own. In this instance, God was preparing you. You are not responsible for another person's actions, and they're in a much better place, by the way. So you don't need to worry about that. But no, you were being given, you're being prepared, and that's the way you got to, and it may not make sense the way we define, because, that sounds weird, we're in the earth plane, But honestly, you could have done anything. They would have done it regardless, so they just would have done it.
I just wondered what those messages were, like what was that?
You were picking up on, you were giving a prediction is what was happening. God was preparing you, but I would just let it go, yeah, you can't ever take responsibility,
Communicate with them now, so it's okay now. Yeah, but thank you.
Yeah, and you got a great heart too.
You did.
No, you do.
Oh.
No, he's got a super heart. No, you've got a great heart. And pink's a good color for you. Yeah. Just got to say that. Yes, darling.
What are orbs and what are myths? I see a lot of them.
That's a good question. Orbs and Myths. Orbarella. Doesn't that sound like a great title? I thought of that. Anyway, sounds like a cartoon. What you're picking up, well, misty energy is usually energy associated with, dead people. They're around you, so their bodies exude misty energy for the most part. Sometimes it can mist into like a shape, and that's not necessarily a good person. Could be something a little naughty. But typically, I've done a lot of cleansings. And never be fearful, right? If we really believe in God, there's nothing to fear, right? I mean, that's the whole point of our belief, and God does exist. Orbs are also consciousness. So what you're seeing, when you see orbs and mist, there are dead people around you. It's not that they're an orb, it's not that they're a mist, but you're picking up like their conscious state. They're in a full body. Like the way I see you, you might have like an orb next to you. If you were a dead person. Clearly you're alive, you look good. Coloring's on. But that's essentially what you're dealing with. You're dealing with other spirits, and that's a good sign. It's fun having that kind of activity, though. When you have a ton of orbs, it's like a big party, I mean, it is. I like it. And you can shop, ladies, on the other side. I just want to throw that out there. And I'm going to tell you there is Vegas on the other side. People say you're nuts. I'm like, no, I'm not nuts. Yes, darling.
I have a question about orbs. I actually employ them.
Oh, I love you. You could be like an Orby artist.
Oh yeah, like
They're cool, aren't they?
yeah, different colors and different shapes, and they respond to what I ask. So it's not just I sing like fairies and like feathers because I ask them to show me something different.
Yeah, you're dealing with a consciousness, and sometimes you could look in an orbs, and I've had pictures where you can see a person's face, but what's happening is you're really like, the ghost is like reflecting off the face of the orb, so it's like an energy. You could do like a whole art thing, get some frames.
I have a lot of videos.
Oh, you should do that. I think they're so cool, and you can see like the colors and the energy. Your energy is amazing too, so it's cool.
Good energy, right?
Yeah.
They respond when I'm happy. If I start like
Bawling or something.
I talk to them. I sound like an idiot, but I know they're
Yeah. Well, just don't tell your doctor you talk to orbs or dead people. I'm just saying from experience. Your physician, just saying, girlfriend. They'll have you writing something, and they'll be like, rubber broom.
I showed it to someone, he's a doctor, and I said, what do you think about this? And he's like,
You know, it's a.
you know what to say?
They don't. It's a funny story. Years ago, I was at a haunted museum. You've got such a cute aura too. I'm like, everybody's got like cute like auras, and I said to somebody, look, there's an orb above Dan's head, and the girl next to me took a picture. Everybody looked. Nobody could see anything. They're like, no, we don't see anything. And there's, I don't know, like 30 people. So she took the picture on her camera. She goes, holy shit, there's an orb. And there was an orb. And I'm like, yeah, because you can see them. Yeah. So we know what we're doing in here, everybody. Yes, I think we have a question back here somewhere. Yes.
What are the black shadows?
What are they? Well, it depends. Now, here's when you can use your psychic abilities. How do you feel when you get it? Now, it's very easy to feel a little scared because we're not expecting it, right? So something catches you off guard. So that may not be a naughty thing. Sometimes black shadows, depending on what you see, it could be something good or positive or something bad. The way you want to address it, though, you can say, I surround this room with God's white light. I always want to say that. And who's ever here, do you come in the name of God? And if you notice any weird activity, or you feel suddenly sick to your stomach, or you get a little headachy, or you hear a noise, then you can just say, in the name of God, you need to leave now. But they could be people, or they can be other beings on the other side, demonic beings, to be honest with you. I mean, I've done a lot of cleansings, but so it really just depends. So you want to, go with what you're feeling psychically, and just, use that prayer. Do you come in the name of God? From that end. But that's a good question. Yes.
Lately I've been seeing or feeling and seeing in the corner of my eye, like there's somebody there, like walking really fast,
Mhm.
and there's nobody there, and I can feel a presence.
Yes.
It happens more and more recently, like for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, you've got a male around you that comes to you, and I think it's your grandfather. So, but yes, you're picking up. There's a move in your future too, so you'll probably bring him with you. But it's not bad energy. So yeah, yeah. So, but you can always use that prayer, or use that because we are the bosses. We have the power to control negative energy. So FYI on that. Yes, darling. Okay, thanks.
So, I help people cross over sometimes.
Yep.
And I'm kind of wondering, like, why is it so hard for people to just naturally just cross over?
You know what? You don't change. That's a good question. Why is it that it's hard to cross over? Well, a lot of times most often you'll have somebody on the other side that will try to persuade you, right? But there are times you just might have a hard time accepting the fact that you've, exited your physical, that you're dead, right? So that often plays a big role in it. Maybe somebody has kids. I've had that happen. I don't want to leave my kids, and that happened in something that was big here. Actually, it was 911. I had somebody come to me, and I don't want to leave my kids. I'm like, you got to go. So that's why you'll get, those types of situations, or somebody might be just glued to their home, or maybe they, want to stay with their husband for a while, So, but it's always nice when you can put the prayers out. Prayers work too. So, FYI. Did you say we're running low on time? Okay, wrap it up. Okay, let's take a couple more questions. I'll give a couple. Yes, Darlene in the back.
Is there a way that we don't have to come back?
I guess we all answer that for you. Yeah, talk to us in maybe a couple of thousand years, and we'll all be back here again, right? Everybody's team effort. I like that. Yes, darling.
My son passed away 1 year ago tomorrow, and he was 11 years old, and I want to communicate with him, but for the first few weeks after he passed away, he was coming to me constantly, and then I lost him.
He's still with you. Did he have a friend named Jack? Did he have a friend named Jack?
He had a friend named Jack at school.
He's the one behind you that's been getting my attention all this time. He says, Mom, I love you. Jack's really fun. He's been playing pranks on Jack. Your son is there. He says, Mom, I'm okay. Yes, he says, I'm going to continue to give you my attention. It's just I think you've been so consumed, emotionally. Of course you're going to be like there, But he wants you to know he's there. And the best thing when you go to your dream state, you've noticed some lights flickering. Is it in your bedroom? Yes? Because that's what your son says. Tell Mom I flicker her lights. Yeah. Yeah, and who's the Chris connection? Is that a friend of yours? Yeah, a good friend? Yeah. When you met this Chris, did you feel like you always knew each other? Because your son said you were like, cave people back in the day. Like you had no teeth, and he's laughing. Yes? I've been watching him all night. I've been watching him back and forth. Remember when I said we have a lot of people? He goes, I love you so much, Mom. He goes, it was my time. He was an angel on earth here, and then, God called him home, and he's got his own angel wings. And he goes, Mom, you're my angel here. He's always been your son. And he goes, Mom, I'm okay. I want you to be happy again. You need to get out more, Mom, is what he's telling me. Do you have a friend named Sam or Sandy? Sam? Oh, Sam, is it? Yeah. Yeah, give her a hug and a kiss, Mom. She's a great lady, and you were friends with, or sisters with Sam in a past life. He says, I'm doing well, and he goes, Mom. He goes, really? By the way, did you get new lipstick or something? Were you thinking about it? Were you at the makeup counter? Want to share that with us? Because he said something about, or do you need to get some new lipstick? Your son keeps saying something about lipstick. Chapstick, maybe? Yeah, no, he says, Ma, you need some red lipstick. You need to go out and paint the town, Mom. He's got a lot of friends, just so you know. Oh, yeah, your son, he just says, whatever you do, don't tell my mom this. I go, okay, what do you want me not to tell your mom? He's standing behind you. And by the way, your oil looks fabulous. He's been driving like a little bit of like a motorcycle dirt bike thing with his buddies on the other side. He says, my mom will be really upset about it. But now that you know. He goes, thanks a lot, Karen. I go, no problem. And he also had a crush on Sam. He goes, I always had a crush on Sam. That's what he said. He said, I would have married her in an instant. I go, well, he's a boy. He loves you so much. And, so when you go to bed tonight, I want you to get your notebook, right? And I want you to start, writing questions down to your son. What do you do and how's it like? Are you with grandma and grandpa? Whatever floats your boat, right? Because we have a house on the other side. We have hot men and women, not in Buffalo, but everywhere else. I'm from Buffalo. But it's too cold to be hot there, but just saying, for many ways. But we have shopping in Vegas and what have you. So write your questions down. Ask your son these questions. In the morning, you may not remember seeing him right away. It may take a while. You might get hit or miss, but you'll start getting the answers. And then read your question when you come out of your bed and write the answer down. Whatever comes in your head, it's going to be in your frame of reference, by the way. So you'll think that, it's just me thinking that, but no. It'll be your frame of reference. They're communicating into your wires. Do you suck at driving, by the way? Do you suck at driving? Your son said you do. Yeah, he's laughing. Yeah, he's laughing. So I didn't want to blow you in or your son in, but just saying. But make sure you tell Sam, he goes, Ma, she's gorgeous. Yeah, he's a good boy, though. He goes, get out and have fun. Get some red lipstick. Yeah, so go to the Westwood Mall. So I'm going to take 2 more questions, and I got to do a couple little quick mini readings. So let me go here first, and then I'll go there. Yes, darling.
I had a brother that died last November from COVID, and every morning I got up at 5:30 and go to sleep and leave. I had a vision that he was going to have a stroke for 3 years, and he didn't want to be dependent, so he chose to check out, and I just wanted to know if that was true.
It's definitely true. You know something? I think I saw your brother in my room today, swear to God, because of his hair. Your hair and his hair remind me of each other. Who's Mike, by the way? Was that a friend of his or yours? Mike, he's talking about, and a J-O, like a Joe? J-O, Josh, something. Yes. What is it, Lasso? Galasso. That's the O sound. I'm like a Joe. Oh, okay, guys, he said something. I couldn't hear him clearly. Was this a friend of his?
No, it's a friend of mine.
Oh.
I thought he was going to have a heart attack when I dated him, and I felt like if I told him, I said I need to help you, and he was like, no, I'm good. I'm like,
Your brother's next to you. He's well aware of this Mike Lasso. I couldn't hear what he was saying, so I asked him to spell. You could ask people to spell on a notebook. He said, yes, it was my time. And you're still connected.
no, I know, I do.
Yeah.
I talk to him all the time. He sits next to me, and he just talks to me.
He does. And he said, you're the best sister a brother could ever have. I love you. Who's the Kim or Tim? Jim? Is that your friend? Something like an M he's saying? I can't hear him. Jim? Tim? Timmy? Jimmy? Something like that. Emmy? He's pointing to you. Must be somebody new. It's a male, I think he just said. I think it's Tim. There's a Tim coming your way, he said. Well, I don't think Tim is the one you want as a soulmate based on what your brother said. But he appreciates about the Michael connection that we were just talking about. But he said, I'm okay. He goes, please tell everybody that. Did somebody make like a memorial for him? You did, yeah. Like, was it a plant, something outside or something? Did you do that yet? Or a tree or something, or rocks or a cross or something? He's talking about like a memorial.
He was in the military, so we did military service.
But somebody's doing something in addition to that. Who's the Kevin or Ken connection? Was that a friend of his? Because he's talking on the other side. He's got a lot of friends on the other side. That makes sense. And a Pat. But it was his time. He said something about his foot. Or wait, do you have a foot problem? Sure. No.
No, but I felt like he was going to have the stroke on the left side, and he was going to be dependent. He didn't want to be, so he decided to leave.
Yeah, it was his time.
And then my mom checked out a month later because she was like, I'm done. This is left.
She's doing. But they're. Yeah. You know what, though? Your brother will always be there for you. You know, he's going to help you in your love life. But don't trust him, he said. So somebody coming that way. That's all I could tell you. I'm just passing the messages around, okay? By the way, who's a mailbox or FedEx or UPS? Are you close with the guy that does it or something? The UPS mailbox or something? Did you date somebody with postal? I'll put that on your future then. Yeah, postal. Yeah, don't go postal. If his name is Tim, run. Just saying, your brother's laughing. I love you so much. By the way, who is Mary? Was that a grandmother?
My mom.
Oh, she's right there.
My mom's
Yeah, so they're right standing behind you. They're all talking. Yeah, he goes, I'm with Mary. That's what your brother said. She goes, like this. Yes. You know, it's funny. Your mother just said, I love you so much. She goes, we're doing really well. We're going to be there. And she goes, hang on, you're talking fast. I love you from the bottom of my heart. You make me very proud. I want you to live and be happy. When you're happy, your brother and Mama Mary's very happy. You're going to go on to do very good things. Just stay away from Tim, Postbox, FedEx, UPS. Those are great jobs, though, I will say. You might want to think about it. I don't know when he's coming around, by the way. They didn't tell me that. I think we have one. Okay. Michael could do better with his health. Yeah, that's what your brother said. Yeah, so tell him he said that. Are you supposed to go to the dentist or something? Or you missed your dental appointment or something? Told you so. Mary told me. She's still your mother. She was supposed to go to the dental appointment. You are busted. Listen, I gotta tell you, I'll be done in a second. You should hear the crazy crap people tell me on the other side. If you think it's all lolly, nice stuff, oh yeah, no. I've heard things like, my brother was sleeping with my wife. I'm like, ooh. Or one time I'm reading this couple and I'm like, oh, you just went to see your daughter in Florida. That's why I don't do couples. She just found out that her husband of 30 years had impregnated a woman in their first year of their marriage, and she was pregnant too, so he had 2 babes pregnant. I'm like, can you imagine? I'd be like, babes on the porch, buddy. Mm-hmm. Right out. Yes, darling?
Do parents that hurt their kids, where do they go after they die? And do they go to a reform type of school, or do they regret it?
That's a good question. It really depends on the intention. You always get a life review, so be mindful of that, right? And sometimes you go somewhere south, real south. So you could go way, way down to the lower levels. Hell does exist, and there's various layers. So depending where they are. But they'll work it out. You go to school on the other side when you've been really bad. There's certain, we all make mistakes to a point. God can go so far, but, that's terrible. I hate seeing anything with animals or kids. It just breaks my heart. And there's no reason for that, I'll take, yep.
I just had
Sure.
2 things. One, after my brother passed, I saw a psychic medium, and she was like, "You need to let him go, right? Like you're holding on to him," which I didn't think I was.
No, you weren't.
And but then like he stopped riding in the car with me, like he just stopped, like he didn't come anymore, and I was like, okay.
Do you,
I was holding on, and not letting him go per se.
You know what, though? You are going to see him. You're going to hear a song on the radio. It might be Unchained Melody. That's one of my favorite songs, and I have a story that relates to it. That's what your brother just said. It's just nonsense. No, she was definitely off on that one. And they have a mind of your own. I hate it. You're not letting your brother go or your mother. Seriously? Did they listen to you on the earth plane? No. They're not going to listen to you now. But they want to ensure that you're happy and healthy. But they have things to do, like go to the beach or Vegas or shopping. Really, we do that. Yes.
I lost my brother a couple years.
You shouldn't have said anything. Yep, he's here. M-A-R, 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 M-A-R.
My mother just passed away recently.
Oh my God, we got a party going on with your family. Your brother's laughing, mom's laughing about that. They're talking, did you help your mom with medical or health care?
I took care of her for
That's what she was saying. She says, I'm forever grateful. And who's like an Ellie or Ellen or Helen? Is it a friend?
I have a brother, but he's not dead.
Oh, no, but he's still here.
Yeah.
Alan.
Alan.
Yeah, well, mom's pissed at Alan because you did more for mom than Alan did for mom. Does that make sense? She thinks you were better. She loves her kids equally. She says, but I want to thank you.
He wasn't able to.
But what you did, you really touched her deeply, your mom said. And she's doing really well. Your brother's laughing. He kept trying to catch my attention all this time, just so you know. He kept winking at me. He thinks he's funny. M-A-R. What's the M-A-R?
My mom, Martha's best friend.
That's what he keeps saying. He goes,
I feel very connected with him.
he's very connected to you. And your mother's making me laugh. I got everybody like lining up. So I love my kids equally, but you did much more than Alan. You knew me better than Alan did. Like what I needed is what she's saying, if that makes sense. It kind of makes sense, though. I think so. And you were a nurse in a past life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, be a stripper in your future. It's easier. Be a stripper in the next life. Just don't do it in Buffalo. It's chilly, but yeah. Probably the Spanish influenza. That's an interesting history thing.
Carson.
Well, in your past life, like, you know.
Long time ago.
Yeah, because, you were, was it 1913?
Oh, no, I don't know.
Well, no, this was like your past life before you.
Way past.
Yeah, because there shall be a nurse way back.
1913?
Yeah, 1900s, 1913. I'm seeing you as a nurse. You have like that
Oh, a
cute little.
nurse,
Yeah. Then that's why you came in to help your mom. And you and Ellen have a brother and sister in almost every life. Be nice to your brother, Ma says, and she blew you a kiss. And your brother's making me laugh, by the way. Did you get a new vehicle or switch your vehicle?
I need to get.
He's going to help you negotiate. So what you do is you say, can you meet or beat this price? And just make up a fictitious price that like is in the realm. I used to work in sales. Yeah. Last week of the month, they got to get their quotas. It's a good way to get your deal. Yeah. And a hot man. Like to rev up your engine, just saying. Never mind, I'll get in trouble. Anyways, I think I got this lady over here. Yep, and I think we're going to be wrapping it up. Yes, darling.
It's only 7 o'clock.
Oh, is it? Oh, the party's just starting. I'm like, woo. But we're going to get everybody to do your own psychic in a minute. If you want, it's your thing. Let me get to this lovely lady who's got an amazing aura.
And my mother came through. It's the first time that she's come through since she passed many years ago. But when I asked her, was there something specific she wanted to tell me, she didn't get anything. And I'm wondering if there was.
In that case, I think your mom just wanted to let you know she was there and because she loves you. You know, she wanted to connect with you. Quick question. What's like the Charles connection? Charleston, Charlene, Charles, something C-H-A-R, Charleston, Carolina. Is there a Charlie in the family?
No, I was in.
Oh, you were in North Carolina?
My daughter.
Recently?
Not recently.
But you were there. That's why I think she kept saying the Carolinas, like Charleston. That's what you need to go back there and take a trip. It's good for your energy. But yeah, your mom is definitely, she's dogging too. It was just to let you know that she was there. Sometimes we look so hard. We shouldn't look that hard. Just knowing that they're there to say, hey, you know, I'm here today and I want to let you know that I love you. You're very artistic too. Do you like doing artsy-fartsy things yet? Like ceramics or anything like that? You got like an artsy-fartsiness about you. Oh, it's coming. Go to Charleston. You'll get it. You got a good energy. I just saw you doing something like with pottery or something or painting ceramic. That actually, if you do anything artsy, that'll actually open up your third eye, your psychic, you know, because you're out of your right mind. I'm out of mine all the time. So you leave your left to go to your right. Or how it works.
I was just painting yesterday with my granddaughter.
I would call that artsy-fartsy. I'm going to call you Sparky on that one. That's what your ma said. Yeah, so you have it. Because I saw you with the paintbrush. You'll probably do some ceramics or something. But yeah, you got that. You know. Is there somebody named Lulu, or is that your granddaughter's nickname? Lula, Lulu, Lily, Lulu? Lila. That's it. Was that the one you were painting with? I can't hear your mom real clearly. She says, I saw what you did. She's beautiful. Remember, you tell her no boys till you're 40. Your mom agreed. Your dad agreed. There's a Joe connection, too, in your family trying to talk, too. I think it's an uncle or you got a lot of people. But anyways, your mom is with you. So when you're doing your painting the next time, and if you get an interruption of thought, say you're cutting celery, you're doing whatever, and you get this weird thought of whoever on the other side or something psychically, it just interrupts your emotional state changes. You're being connected to them. They're trying to talk to you, but in your frame of reference. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Yes, darling. And then I'll get to you, and then I'll get to you. You are so cute. Love the glasses. Work it, girl.
I just want to know if my mom has like a message for me.
Did you make a change with your career or your school?
Not school.
Career? Recently?
Just transition from another job to not so good thing about that.
Recently. Yeah, because she said you made a change with your career. Yeah. This is only... We're on camera. You've got better changes coming. Yeah, because she mentioned your change. And also she's talking about some of her pearls and some of her jewelry too. Were you just looking at her jewelry recently?
I was, and I actually lost one.
She just told me that. She's right there. She says not to worry about it. She said, the right person at the right place will find it. Sometimes we give gifts like that. But she said not to worry. But she says she wants to see you get into something that is more suitable, that makes you excited. And you're very artsy. Maybe you two girls should hook up. You are. I see you a lot. Are you doing anything in media yet, or have you done anything with media or Instagram or something?
I kept myself from going into it.
Oh, no, that's your passion.
Yeah.
Oh, your family's in the media?
They used to be not my they're all like it too.
Oh, the party group over here. I'm liking it.
Is a good man coming for her soon?
I do see you getting married. Not right away. You need to get out more. That's what you need to do. Yeah.
So not the guy she's with, right?
I see another guy that wants to come and sweep you off your feet. See, you got good friends that.
I have two daughters, teenage daughters, 17 and 19. They're kind of like school age.
Well, yeah, life is too bloody short, but I see a man coming in. So if Mr. or whoever you're with isn't, is there a Rob connection to you? Bob, Rob, Robert, you?
Yeah.
Who's Rob?
My cousin.
That passed?
Yes.
He's there. Because I heard Rob, and I know him over here. Were you open to talk to him?
Yes.
Okay, well, Rob, you can't date her. It's hard. He laughed. I was trying to help you on that one. You will get married, though. But if your boy toy doesn't, put the bling on the ring, you know what you got to do. I mean, that's what you want. You should get it. But you got to go back. Somehow add media to your repertoire. That's going to give you your happy zone. You don't have to give up your day job right now, but do something because you do have a gift for that. A real big gift. Okay, Rob is killing me. He was in my hotel room today. I just want to tell you.
What?
Yes, I told you, these people are crazy. Sometimes they're perverts, but those are fun ones. I mean, not much you can do with the dead unless you go on a party. It's like, don't threaten me with a good time. He's laughing about that. He talks to you all the time. He says you've improved with your cooking. And he's laughing. Is there something you'd like to share? You suck at it too, like me?
I have training, but I always burn my food.
I have training and you burn your food? He's laughing at that. He thinks that's funny. Do you like Pop-Tarts or like pastries or something? Is that what you burn a lot?
No, it's actual food, like, pasta or like rice, pieces of chicken that I overcook. Yeah, I get distracted too.
I got a remedy for that. 4 food groups. Can take out frozen reservation. I so hate cooking. I hate it. It's just too much work. I get excited to watch these people on TV like, what's his face, Guy Fieri, and I'm like, I'm going to do that. Then after the show, I'm like, I'm not going to do that.
That's Robert if she's going to end up with Jason.
He says Jason is a work in progress. Yeah, he says that Jason's a good guy, but he thinks you could do better. Jason, you know the problem with Jason? Jason isn't living up to his expectation. But you can't teach him that. That's not your job. He's got to, we all got to figure it out, But he loves you to pieces. Big time. Although he's still mocking you on your cooking. Are you doing fundraising?
I should be. Yeah, for a movie, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I guess so.
Robert said you're doing some kind of fundraising. He says, he says you're really good at what you do. Yeah.
Amazing.
So you all, that's right. This is our media. Oh, thank you. Champagne, my God. I love you. Champagne, no pain with champagne, only sham good. Does that sound like I should be on like one of those commercials at 800, Was it the Shampoo or something? I say that on TV. I get in trouble at home. Thank God you can edit in TV, like at the show I do. Every now and then I slip up and say something I shouldn't. My producer's like, ooh. I'm like, stop. It's all good. Yes, darling.
I had this really intense. My mom passed almost a year ago now, and the last dream I had with her was super intense. It was like monsoon, and she hasn't come to me much in dream time. But there was monsoon, rain, and there was like a fire at the same time. So intense.
You know what? She does come to you all the time. Where's the Ann connection? Where's like an Ann? Like an Ann or an Annie or an Andrew or an Anthony, Dan, Ann? Is that a friend of yours in the living? Andrea? Who's Andrea?
She's my sister who's here.
Oh, that's the Andrea. I got like an A-N. Andrea, Ann. Is there? Okay, everybody, it's the name game. We got Sparkies. So she visits you and Andrea all the time. Your dream was symbolic. Now, this is a really good example, right? You two are like so cute, by the way. I just got to show. They are, aren't they? They're cute. Like, they're just adorable. Anyways, but you're getting a message from your mom because monsoons, it's rain, it tells us our tears, right? Fires change, and that's a good thing, though. Out with the old, in with the new. So symbolically, I think your mom was trying to, show you or communicate in a way that, okay, there is a change, enough of the crying, enough of the tears. It's time to move forward. So that's a good thing. So yeah, your mom visits you and Andrea all the time. She says she's still your mother. Keep it clean, girls. You need to get rid of some shoes, or is this your sister, or both of you? She just said that. You. Oh, Andrea's like the fashion house. She goes, oh my God, my daughter, she has all these bloody shoes. So, but she has a lot, and they're disorganized too. She needs to put them in some plastic containers, Mom said. Yeah, tell her she needs to get on it. Tiffany, is there somebody connected to a Tiffany, live or dead? Someone just said a Tiff somewhere. Who's got a Tiffany? Who's Tiffany? She's still living. Oh, that's your mom again. Wow. You haven't talked to Tiff in a while, your sister? Ooh, you're in trouble. Your mom would like it if you girls would, communicate and reconcile. You're her teacher in this life. Don't tell Tiff that. She won't like that, but that's truly your position. We all come in for positions, So, yes, darling. Yep.
Because the other side, the time doesn't work the same as it does on Earth, and it's not linear.
Mm-hmm.
Could a past life also, my next life, be a future life? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I seem to think.
Go forward instead of go back in our next life?
Yeah.
Wait, no, that doesn't make sense.
You mean have a similar life, only in the future again?
What's that?
Like have a similar life, like maybe a landscape or something, but in the future?
No.
Me too. What's that?
But our past life could have been in the future.
Oh yeah. I know. Yes.
I think that's what I mean.
Yeah. Sometimes like deja vu sort of operates along that line. Yeah. Einstein knew about the other side. Yeah. Was there somebody named Bud around you? Bud? Was that somebody your dad called? Bud? Buddy? Bud? Who's Bud? Who's my Bud? Oh, your buddy. I'm like looking over here and I'm hearing Bud. That's your son's nickname?
No, that's my grandfather.
Oh, that's your grandfather, because your son, okay, because I heard father. So your grandfather's with your son, because your son's going like this. So Grandpa Bud is behind there. Wow, you got a party. We all have a party. Grandpa Bud says not to worry. He says your son's doing well. He's taking him fishing this weekend. Yep, I go fishing at the grocery store. There you go. Amazing. It's just so much easier at the restaurants. Clearly, you and I are on the same page. My eyes are with you, sister. Let's see. We'll go to the girl stand. Yeah, yep, you, and then we'll get to some more.
I have a question about our soul. Do we reincarnate after our soul reincarnates several times? I mean, at the same time, but different people, but it's like the same soul.
Oh, are you saying that because my name is Reese, like Reese's Pieces? I'm feeling very, when people say they ghost me, I get very, a little sensitive. No, you're one spirit, so you're not going to be like split up and having multiple lifetimes at the same time. I think that's what your question is.
Or like in other universes or galaxies?
No. I mean, I've had experiences where I can go into another, but it's out of body. But you're here, this is one spirit, you're one spirit, one being, at a time. You can leave your body at night and go to a different, dimension. But that's a lot of hogwash. So, same thing with twin souls. I'm like, the reason you feel drawn to somebody is because you've known them in past lives, like you two. So, you'll feel like, wow, it's my twin soul. And I'm like, yeah, my shoes are twin souls. That's about it, But we got to go back to Sister Andriata or Andrea or Andrea with her shoe thing. Yeah, I just got to share that. We'll go in the back there. Okay. Okay. Yep. We.
Souls that are getting ready to be born soon communicate with us, like.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Many times. I mean, I'm sure a lot of ladies here have had children, whatever, and or your grandmother, or whatever. But a lot of times you'll have an indication, or your friend might be pregnant, or whatever, and they'll say, "I had a dream of a little boy," or something like that. And so a lot of times you'll know ahead of time. And what happens though, like when you're pregnant, the spirit will kind of like hover around the mom for a little while. Like they'll go in and out of the belly before they decide to come in. It's the weirdest thing. I got to talk to God about that. He's probably like, Reese.
How soon can they do that, or how far in advance can they do that?
They can do it like almost immediately. So, at conception when you get the little zygote going on and the eggs are...
Or if they're not born yet, though?
They're out of body, they go in and out of the body. That's why...
But you haven't even conceived the child, and the child's nowhere around you.
Oh, because they have an indication, like that's who I want for my mom. Like you pick your mom, we pick, the people in our lives.
But how far in advance?
It really
Is it a
depends.
year, 2 years, 10 years?
It's probably all over the place from my experience. Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. And that's why, too, how many times when we're all kids, 2 to 3, usually under the age of 3, you hear little kids, my invisible friend, right? I'm sure some people here have had that. Then we ground into our body because we're still sort of like halfway out of our body spiritually, like we're in and out, so we could see the other side. Too bad I didn't use that technique, or any of us when we were in school. Put your books under the pillow, like Edgar Casey, through osmosis. Yes, darling.
My favorite person died 3 years ago, and then I will be able to communicate with him for the first year. But since 2 years, I have been trying everything, but he's gone.
They never leave us. I think what happens over time that, they become preoccupied. They're doing things. They're going to an art show. They're, talking to loved ones. They're looking at their past lives. And then I think sometimes we're so distracted, right? We have TV and radio. That's why you got to be careful, too, with all of what's going on. You don't want to have all the negative Nellies out there, because we want to keep our energies up. But all you have to do is put a request. Your dream state is going to be your best bet. It may take a while, but you'll see your friend, so not to worry about that. You got a really good aura, too, by the way. You look like you're a good cook. Just saying. Robert keeps busting your chops about your cooking.
What is he saying now?
He's laughing. he's actually funny. Yes, darling.
So, it's been 5 years, but I always thought that when my dog passed, I thought for sure that he would come to me in a dream at some point. And
Your dog actually has, you just don't remember your dreams, and your dog's jumped on your bed, but it's very light energy. So when you're in bed at night or on the sofa, and you just feel something very light, that's your dog. So what you want to do in that case, look at your doggy's picture and tell your doggy, I will remember seeing you. Unfortunately, I had 7 kitties, and one of them passed away like a week before Christmas, and he was really old, but I loved Smokey. And every day I would call him. I'd say, come on, kids, it's time for, breakfast. And he'd come in licking his chops. Well, the day after he passed, early in the morning, I go, come on, everybody, it's breakfast. And he comes walking in with his tail, like licking his chops. So your little baby has definitely visited you. Just give it some time. But tonight I want you to go and you tell your, little doggy tonight, look at your picture and just say, I will see you, Mama will see you. It's just going to take some time. You're distracted, but he's there. You'll get it. Just give it some time.
do they reincarnate, or do they always stay the same animals?
Yeah, they don't. Animals will always stay animals. They won't reincarnate to humans.
Or to another animal even?
They could. They might be a kitty cat. That's why sometimes, like, if you see a dog or a cat, like my cats act like dogs, and, they've had lives as dogs. They think they're a lion, a couple of them. I'm like, you're not tigers and lions today, even though you're on the counter, on the fridge, on my leg, up my back, Just saying, go ahead.
My brother passed away on a Wednesday, and then 2 days later, my husband passed away. I've seen my husband in translucent color, where we've had conversation, and then in another week, he's been translucent white, and we've had conversation. But I've never seen my brother. Is there a reason?
You actually have seen your brother. You've seen him in your dreams, though. So dreams, that's where they like to come. It's easier. So you have seen your brother. You just don't remember. That's why you got to train your brain. So tonight, look at your brother's picture and demand him. Like, look, jerk, what are you doing? Come visit me. That's all you have to do. Be very, like, bottom line about it, because you will see him. And they're having fun, by the way. They're going to a barbecue, I just heard. I don't know. As long as it's not Barbie, it's a barbecue. That's all that matters. Well, maybe a Barbie for your brother. I don't know, but you've seen them. That's what they said. Do you do a lot of writing or something? Are you doing a lot of typing these days?
I've been writing a lot, journaling.
That's what your brother said. So you're writing. He's aware of it. So he's with you, without a doubt. And they both love you, but they're going to have a good time together. They are going to the barbecue. What they're going to Barbie. Because your brother's going to have a grill and a thrill this weekend. It's at your brother's house. That's what they're telling me. They're going on and on. And I'm going to just tell you this, too. I see a nice man in your future. It was about time. You can have a new experience, right? Life is about experience. But anyways, it looks like I'm done, everybody. So God bless you. Thank you. I think so. Is it 7:30? Oh, good. We got 10 more minutes then. Wow, you are so good, girlfriend. That's why you're in the media. I need you on my team. I got to do some video. I'm telling you. Yes. And you got a fun trip to Vegas. We'll talk about that, girlfriend. Oh, I'm coming to visit you.
I can cook.
Damn! The party starts, everybody. Did you hear it? Let me get to this lady in the back, and then I'll get to you. Yep. Okay. She loves it. Two things. Do you have her necklace or something about a necklace? Do you know what she's talking about? Something about a necklace you're supposed to have of hers, or you get a necklace that reminds you of her, or cremains or something? Something. Yeah, you're supposed to have that. Yeah, your sister loves what you did, is what I heard. And I think that's wonderful because it's a celebration of life, right? Do you like country music? Are you listening to country music these days? Yeah, I think you're going to hear something because she said some country music. It might be by Roy Orbison. Oh, good. I mean, I'm not a country music person. I'm not a good music person, but if you hear that, it'll be from your sister. But she's having a good time. Not to worry. She loved what you did. There's a piece of jewelry you're supposed to get. Also, where's the Ann or Joanne? Joanne? Ann? Joanne? Is that your friend or her friend? Like a Joan or Joanne? Joan. I think she's trying to tell me she's a friend Joni or Joanne on the other side. Joanne. A lot of friends, that's what she just said. So she's got a lot of friends, and there's a Carol she's talking about. Who's Carol? Her friend Carol that passed over? Oh, she's still here. Oh, okay. Because she's talking. What's that? Okay, that's what, because she's talking very faintly because she's way back there. When you see Carol, she said, make sure you thank her, and she loves you. She goes, thank you for being the best sister. She goes, I'm okay, though, but she loved what you did. You're going to hear something country music. I think it's by Roy Orbison. I like that song, Pretty Woman, though. That's the only one I know. And you got to get the jewelry. Get the jewelry, your sister said. Okay. And by the way, Carol was a sister of hers and yours in a past life. So if you like waltzes, you did it back in the 1840s, the waltz music. Ding, ding, ding. Okay. All right, we got to go here. Yes, darling.
Okay, so a couple of us here, we have a bi-monthly holistic healing, natural healing, alternative healing group. We'll share a bunch of information. And one of our leaders, the guy was one heck of a hard worker. He died of cancer last summer.
Oh.
And his name is Kelly. Do you get any messages from him on the other side? Anything he wants to share, especially for his assistant who was the leader? She's devastated.
Oh. What's the hill connection? Is there like a hill by his house, or like a hill? Is it hilly by his house, or where you go to meet, or his assistant?
No, not that I can.
Is there somebody with a name like a Hill or a Will or something like that? Bill, Will. Wait. Something he's trying to tell me because he's in my left ear. Well, Kelly, but I mean, there's somebody he's talking about. Hang on. He's met up with quite a few family members. I think he's trying to tell me met up with a Bill or a Will. I don't know if it's a first or last name, like Williams.
Is he saying why he chose to leave?
He said he was just tired, and he said, it was just his time. God called him home. But he wants everybody to know, he goes, look, life goes on. That's what we're all about. And he said, you have to just enjoy what you can. And he's very grateful to the group. And he likes, you're writing something. Did you write something about him already? Did you write? Because you're the one to write. You're a beautiful writer. But he said, hang on, Cal. He said, I'm fine. His heart started to give him some trouble at the end, obviously. And I think he said his mother was there, so he's greeted by a mother. Yep, and he said, and there's no turning back. And he said, I wish I could have stayed longer. Please tell everybody I love them, and I appreciate everybody. But he wants you to carry on. Even in these darkest hours, he's going to walk with your group because you have important work to do. And he goes, you got to keep it going. It's handing the torch off, is what he's saying. His work is done. He's handing the torch off. And he's very impressed with what everybody's doing. There's some changes, too, some branding changes or marketing changing that he's telling me that you'll be doing if you haven't started to do it. So like a different way of marketing and branding your group. And he says it's going to grow. It's meant to grow. And he said to tell you I love you like a brother. You know, so is his partner's here? Yes. Was his partner supposed to be here?
She's devastated she couldn't make it. So if it's being recorded, would you like to share a message for her?
He said, "You're the love of my life. I'm there. I'll always be there for you, and you'll be okay." So if you can tell his partner that, and not to worry. You've got the torch has been passed, is what Kel keeps telling me. Actually, I started hearing Kelly up here earlier too when I was thinking I'm over here. When I said Alan, and then I heard Kelly, so it was kind of everybody was talking, but I'm okay, and it was my time. And he's in a much better place. You know, that was a living hell, being in that position. You know, we want to live life. And you're a great man. You were a Greek in a past life. I just got to share that with you. You were an ancient Greek in a past life. Yeah. I just got to share that with you. Just saw you. So if you want to go to the Acropolis sometime, you know, just saying. If you feel like you want to run an Olympic 2,000 years ago, let us know. I did. I saw you. So you like grape leaves, you know, just let me know. We'll talk about that. Yes, darling.
Well, I wasn't going to bring this up, but I've never met my real father, and I found out that he died 2 years ago. 60 years now, never.
You know, I know he's going to have somebody that had a similar situation. There's a George and a John connection to your biological father. I don't know if these are brothers or friends or a middle name. But yes, do Ancestry.com because you're going to meet up with your sister. I think you got a sister and a brother connected. So, yeah. And it was not something that he was happy about. It was a really weird situation. But here's the thing, when you have those situations, you tend to be the teacher in the relationship, so you're more involved spiritually. You taught your biological and your parents that raised you. And he loves you deeply. And that's not what he would have wanted. So something, you know, but you're going to be fine. You've got a good family. You'll have fun. More to love. That's what I say. More birthday presents. Just saying. Mine's in April, by the way. Did I say that? April 14th. Yeah, right. I know. Let's see. I'll get one more because I think we just one more. 5 minutes. Okay. Don't want to. Yes, Stelling. Oh yeah. Are you Mr. Champagne Man?
Yeah. So I have a big question. There's a simple question, then there's a one.
Mm.
First question is so that a lot of people here would like to be psychics.
Mm-hmm.
Or would like to be better psychics. Increase their ability, their power, their mind. I'm not a psychic. But I do this thing called quantum entanglement. A stone mover is a type of a Native American that delivers people's prayer tokens and prayer objects to the wilderness.
I love that.
Otherwise known as the quantum field, as a type of quantum entanglement, modern day. People would call it that.
Yes.
My simple mind thinks that having psychic ability has something to do with quantum entanglement, or this sense of being able to read or sense have a feeling for things that are connected through time and space. And so we would all want to be better psychics. And would we be better psychics if we focused on A or B? A being trying to become some sort of spiritual master of the many disciplines of spiritual master. Becoming a master in your own right to become have developed your psychic ability, which is really possible. Or B, which would be to simply practice being children of the Great Spirit, just being playful and loving, and just do love.
Oh, I love that.
Just do love. There's A and B, or do both.
Do both.
Or do both.
So.
And if you were a master psychic, would it be possible to have foreseen the terrible earthquakes that's happened in Turkey? Would you? Would any of us?
Oh yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff. I don't put a lot of stuff out for public consumption just because you got to be careful. Sometimes people get really weird.
If I had seen the earthquakes coming, would I have rushed to their aid? Or
Well-
world, if it was coming to me, would I have wanted to do that? Would it have been okay to do that?
Well, sometimes you got to look too. It might be just like people's paths as far as that's concerned. I always tell people we don't always drop dead of a heart attack. You know, sometimes we have a more glorious way because we're all going to leave. You are very intuitive and you got an amazing aura. And you do. And you got great energy. Yeah, and I have a lot. Actually, I have Mohawk in my DNA. Mohawk, Native American from upstate. The 5 tribes or whatever. I don't know if you're familiar. You know, up in Canada, and that's Buffalo. Yeah, a lot of friends, Tuscaroraans and whatever. But what my dad's side, they had Mohawk. But both. See, you beat me to it. You are psychic. But yeah, you can do all of it. I tell people, go where you're gravitated. You can always switch, right? You don't have to have one same career all your life. You can multitask. Do what you feel is in the moment that you're supposed to do. If you're true to yourself. And by the way, you do have great energy. You do. By the way, is there somebody named Barry or Bear around you? Is that somebody you're connected to?
No, but Barry in 5th grade in Bracebridge, Chesapeake, Virginia, turned out to be not an asshole. not a creep or a bully.
Okay, because your dad said.
Turned out to be an architect.
Oh, that's funny. That's a past life relationship, and he's got karma. But I just want to mention, your dad mentioned that. So there you go. But you had an impression on Barry. But you're an amazing man. Do whatever you want. Go, if it's both, one or the other. You don't have to limit. Everybody has intuition. Some have it more, but the way to develop it is meditation, synchronicity, yada, yada, yada. So, yes, darling, one more. Sure, we'll be done in a sec.
So in meditation, is it possible for spirits to present themselves like when you're in a deeper state of meditation?
Oh, yeah. You can have the best out-of-body experiences with meditation. It's a cheap way of traveling. I go out of my body all the time. Like super cool things. And you can see dead people. You can see different landscapes. So it's a really good tool.
Is it piecing it together just like in the dream state?
When I go out of body in a meditation, no, it's as active as this. So.
For me, it's just I'm seeing visions of like specific people that I can't really tell who they are, but they're doing something, and it'll switch to another scene of something going on, or to another scene of something going on.
And you could always say slow down for a minute too. So you can direct when you're doing your meditations. You could just say slow down. But there's all different ways. Have fun. That's what it's all about, you know. We're also like earthbound here. Like, you know, when we get to the other side, we're going to be like, oh, we should have done this or that. So let's all have fun. So let's give ourselves a big clap because we're awesome people. Thank you. And you can always find me, Karyn Reece, at Instagram, KarynReece at Instagram. Thursday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard for an hour. So jump on it if you want. I take questions. We do a couple little readings. We have fun. You too are cute. I didn't do a booth. I don't want to carry any more stuff. Listen, do you know how awkward it is with me carrying my luggage? You try to pack light. I got a 7-pound luggage. And I'm like, oh, talk about baggage. Anyways, but thank you all. God bless you. I hope that helps. Call my office. Oh, hey, by my clients right now. I didn't open my office because of COVID. So I get clients all around the world. I always have to. You can stay in your pajamas and take your clean at the same time. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can grandfather around you anytime. Yeah, you have to do what I say. You have to reach my let me get your son in. Is there somebody named Shona? Somebody just said Jordan. Hang on, let me you know I'm from Buffalo? Oh, really? No, you know what's happening though? There's you are so cute. You have the prettiest eyes. You do. I have an Instagram. Somebody's like trying to fake out my Instagram, so you got to make sure it's like Karyn Reece at Instagram. KarynReece. We have underscores extra, so there's like this weird. Everybody's getting that hacked, and so if you get something and it's an email, it's not like I just do phones or in person. Yeah. So. Oh, my favorite. I just said, I haven't been to Mexico. I used to go all the time and travel around the area. So Ginny, take off. I sent you a video from a month. I love it. But yeah, stuff on my Instagram. Stuff on my Instagram. You are so cute. I gotta send you this. Somebody is coming around. There's something about retiring and actually work His mom, I love you so much. And it was like, what's the October? It's October. So it was funny because I was like, I need to do t-shirt. Happy birthday, everybody. I'm doing it. I never did that for shoulders, like the day or the don't want to see it's my time. So I just feel like everything I really need to see. Open up more. Yeah, more people need to start showing up. Maybe it's like your brother, father is there, and I'm like, oh, I've never dealt with my brother or my father. So now I know about there, and it's like my grandma. Yes. Ready? Oh, yes. You don't have to pay. Just talk to me. It's a lot of people. I love you so much. You realize you're like, ahora ya no me dejan en paz. But it's like, I appreciate my dad. And I can tell you, last night, what's your last? That is enough for me to know where where is it at? I'm going to give you
How funny would it be if I was like Spotify and I already followed you? Well, I don't know. Oh, you go out.
He said, I'm going to do it in my phone too. So my card, I'm going to do we got to get you to but he's telling me.
Yeah, she's just with me. Are you guys online?
But your son said live. What's my birthday?
Oh, thank you. Awesome. Yeah, me and my friend Gabby, she was a book here. She's actually doing a talk. Are we cute? Look at that little. Yeah.
They do good. My parents do great work. They have
It's just a positive. Thanks. Yeah, I'm just like 100% curly now.
You can also say to go to college.
Oh my God, so fair. Okay, well, if you're going to go with him, I'll go back to the oh, I want
So surprised I didn't bring my grandpa. But yeah, I can't believe making fun of me for that. Yeah. And it's true, I've been approving, because I wasn't cooking for a while. And then he sort of but yeah, like notorious. I think she already got it. I usually burn something. Yeah. It's because I get distracted or like, yeah, because I get distracted so I go straight but like my bad. So I always tell my friends, I'll like prepare for me to bring it back. They already know.
We have a podcast together. And so she's making, but I'm a hypnotherapist, so I do. I do, so I'm trained as a certified consulting hypnotist, and then I do like when we're graduates, I I don't have a specialty quite yet, but I do whatever anybody needs. I mean, everybody's unique, so some people come to me like, stuff they don't aware of. My friends, they can, work on it in their life, or, a lot of stuff. Home regression is what I'm doing recently. So people go to where, how we talked about business going in and out of your body, and so that's actually where I think you're going to meet so many people, like, right, when you bring it to and like, parents are like, and I told her everything, all these stories, I told her, it is, some of it, I can give you,
So I'm gonna call you sometime.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what
she still left out reality.
I think so.
She wants to get
Oh, good, there you go, hey.
She makes us feel bad. And so she doesn't take ownership.
I can't believe it. All right, well, yeah, maybe I'll see it on the break shop.
And she'll always call you out on it.
My friend. Yes, we're gonna go. Yep. Yes, pumpkin. Thank you. I'll talk to Maria.
It's fine, and I love her dearly.
Claire and I. Claire's from Panama.
And she'll like do that.
I will talk to this way. So we're not
It's like, well, the next step is balancing that.
Yes, darling.
I just don't plan
No yellow bag. No yellow. She's no yellow. I just gotta take it out. Okay, I'm gonna bring it out.
It's fine. She's one of those, like, seriously, it's like, well, you've done it all, and you keep coming up against the same line. You guys are like the same height inside. Yes, even your best jumps.
My still doesn't look, I know, I saw a little heart.
Like, there she goes, she's right behind us all of a sudden.
Yeah. Oh, shit, he's right behind you. Oh, that's him. That's Eddie. I'm like, okay. It's really lovely there. Oh, no. It's just more ways than one. I better run out this way.
I just have to say you're amazing. I don't want anybody to feel
That small of me.
Amazing astrologer, everybody.
Yes.
Are you here for the next workshop?
Yeah.
Do you have a ticket?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. I thought there would be.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
You're the speaker. Oh, you're the speaker, hooray. Okay. I'm your, yes, I'm your homeowner, Mary Ann.
Oh, great.
And, we're going to, how, number one,
Yeah, it's 15 on that, 20 plus keys.
So 15, we don't have one of those, so I'll just go like this very gently, and then I have a 10.
Sounds great.
Do you need any AV support?
Yeah, I'll just need a quick pointer in the right direction and how to push the buttons.
Okay, we'll get, oh no, we'll get on, yeah, we have an AV, yeah, so I'll get the word.
Water. I'll probably do we have a bottle of water? Or just a cup of water?
Yeah, usually, I'll see if I can get you a bottle.
Okay, cool.
Collect them? No, I collect them, yeah, I put it in an envelope and keep it up. But I'm not sure. This doesn't seem to be. I mean, I've been doing it, yeah.
The darker side is spiritual.
Okay, welcome. Well, I'm here for a couple of minutes, so make sure that everyone is.
Good to see you again.
I felt like we were working the room. Like,
Yeah, we've been there for a long time.
I follow. Again, we've got platinum, yellow staff, yellow staff.
Cody says you want to drink any wine or you want Cody has some as well.
Okay. I'll just be 5 minutes and then run up and down. Okay.
From, what's your workshop? Dang, what's it called? That place in,
Cricket Path?
huh? Cricket Path, that's it.
Yes.
Yes.
Next week I've got another workshop there.
Really?
Yep, we're gonna do a shadow ritual.
Is this your only one today?
What's that?
Is this your only one today?
I did a divination panel earlier, but yeah, this is the only one.
Is this the shadow work one?
Yeah.
I love the Are you gonna be here like other days or?
No.
You chilling tonight for the dance party?
Be the speaker reception, something. Yeah, poke around.
Well, the dance party, it's in this room, actually. All this room, they kick it off and all that. We're gonna be, yeah, the speakers.
Awesome.
Great seeing you.
Great seeing you too. Yeah, we go. Let me this whole thing
I gotta find it in there somewhere.
I know, that's the problem with carry crystals and everything, and then you lose them.
I completely understand.
Huh?
I completely understand where you're coming from.
I'm like, no, tell me I lost it.
I assure you there are many others they probably just lost
Yeah.
on the way down the rabbit hole. Because I had to ask like 3 people how to get over here.
What?
I had to ask like 3 people how to get over here. They didn't know where I was going.
It's
at all.
confusing.
It is.
I had to walk around a few times.
It was a little confusing.
Yes, yes.
The front desk guy told me it's on the 2nd floor, and then
Yep. I asked 3 people and I got a different answer from each one of them with all love. But it was fun. I'm glad to fall up rabbit holes or down them.
Me too. Yeah. No, I'm glad, and I got here early. So
Yes, there you go. Got this.
Well, I do have a PowerPoint put together. We'll see if we get somebody in here to help me set it up. I know somebody went off the scavenger hunt to find someone.
Oh, yeah. Well.
It's awesome. Oh, I don't think I'll do that. Oh, you're awesome. Any luck on the AV guide?
I'm going to do that right now.
You're wonderful. Thank you.
I really want to. I go to all these healers, and I'm like, no, no.
I feel good.
Dance over there and express myself.
I love expressions. That's why I'm not talking, because I know I will never stop. I'm going to let nature take the stage.
I'll keep it technical and dry here.
No, you're going to get to the shadow work that we talked about, right?
But when we do shadow work, when I work with clients in shadow work, it can get a little emotional.
That's what I'm saying.
It needs to.
It does.
Whatever that room was, that's shadow work.
I'm very much, I love shadow. I'm not even going to engage you, because I will talk to you forever about it. I'm going to listen. And you will talk to me at another time on one of our meetings. It'll be words.
Well, I will put out flyers and business cards somewhere. I don't know. It's downtown. I don't know if it's near the hills or not. I always take an Uber there, and I'm terrible at directions. Terrible.
Or new.
Let's see. And I was wrong. It's not a black mirror for seance. That's a different one. I'm actually doing another shadow work, but we're doing a shadow ritual. Preparing the elements, like the Sophic elements, earth, air, fire, water, and doing a ritual for shadow work on that. I was totally wrong on what we're doing. I was confusing it with another workshop I was giving at another place. But that's in Denver area.
Okay.